Hey, this is Glover Teixeira, UFC light heavyweight champion.
Hi, I'm Robbie Lawler.
What's up, fight family? This is your favorite MMA coach, Thiago Alves, the Pitbull.
Hey, what's up, guys? I'm Pedro Munoz.
This is Mike Brown.
Guys, I am Alexei Olenik, and welcome.
And welcome.
And welcome.
And welcome.
And this is We Want Picks.
And you're watching We Want Picks.
To We Want Picks.
We Want Picks.
To We Want Picks.
To We Want Picks. Hi everybody from American Top Teams.
My name's Angelo, and welcome to We Want Picks. Let's recap UFC Vegas 46. It was a fun night of fights. We're finally back after a month off. So I'm going to walk through the fights. I'm going to walk through our full card parlay, and we're going to talk about the DraftKings League, see who won that, and see who wins our $50 weekly giveaway. Before I dig in, go to wewantpicks.com/bets. We have 5 different betting partners. Sign up with any one of those 5 partners, make a deposit, and I will send you $50 as a thank you. That's all you need to do. Sign up, make a deposit, let me know after you do, and I will send you $50. CASHAPP, PayPal, Venmo, literally however you want it. And that's at wewantpicks.com/bets. Let's talk about UFC Vegas 46. We're going to talk about the fights, but first, let's talk about that full card member parlay. So before the fights, we go live every single week. We do another quick breakdown. We talk about each fight. And then I let you vote in the live chat who you think will win each individual fight. Then we take all of those picks, we put them together, and we build a parlay. I throw $10 at the parlay, and if it hits, the money goes to you. It goes to the members of this channel. It's that simple. I lay it out. You reap these spoils. And in order to qualify for that, you need to be a member. So click the join button under this video, and let's recap what you guys said was going to happen in the pre-fight live stream. On the left is all 10 fighters. You went TJ Brown, Kelleher, Pickett, and Viacheslav off to a good start. All 4 of them won their fights. You guys went with Joanderson, Brito instead of Bill Algeo. Brito looked like trash. We'll cover that later. Ramiz, Brahimaj looked like trash. We'll cover that later. Chookagian was easy. Brandon Royval with the sketchy decision. Chase Sherman, that was a crazy 2 dudes who can't stop anybody. All of a sudden, first round finish. And then Giga in that one-sided beatdown. We will recap all of those in 1 minute. But it was a $10 parlay, and it was going to pay out $1,474. The reason it was $1,474 is most of these people were minus 200 or more favorites. I experimented with a couple of other parlays that were paying out much higher numbers. But anyway, if you want to qualify for this parlay every single week, and eventually it will hit. You guys are sharp. So eventually it will hit. Make sure you become a member. Click the join button under this video. It supports us, and it qualifies you for all of our giveaways and payouts. Really quick, some housekeeping. I did a Fight Companion live stream last night for the main event. We're testing out a new format. We're going to do more Fight Companions, more live streams. It's very basic, but let me know what you think. Let me know what else you would like on the screen. On the left is obviously the video. On the right in this box here, we have the live stats. So there's your timer. I did this screenshot at round 4 minutes and 37 seconds left. It's got the live strike totals, all of the stats. And below it, these are the live odds. And if you watched last night, I actually hit Calvin Kattar at live betting, but my fingers literally were not fast enough. He was started at plus 225, and it just kept dropping as I'm trying to bet. I ended up getting him at plus 125. And right here, you can see they locked it because the action was crazy. At one point, he was a minus 3,000 favorite. But let me know. This will be the main visual during fights. Let me know what else you would like on this screen. We're building it out. We're going to hire some graphic designers to really make this meaningful and important to you. So let me know what else you'd like to see on these Fight Companion live streams, what else you'd like to cover, and some of that content so we can build it for you and make it as good as possible. Let's talk about the fights. We have Court McGee, and he fought Ramiz Brahimaj. Court McGee, man, how tough is that dude? Like, we knew he was tough. We knew how tough Court McGee was. But Ramiz Brahimaj being a world champion jiu-jitsu guy, he's a black belt now. I thought this fight would go a little different, right? I thought it would look a lot like Court McGee versus Sean Brady, because Court McGee versus Sean Brady was able to take Court down, control Court. I didn't think Ramiz would stop Court McGee. I don't think anybody did. That guy has only been stopped one time in 32 fights now. But I did think that if he got on top, it'd be very hard for Court to get up. It was a good back and forth fight. It was a lot of fun. But Court McGee, relentless cardio, just nonstop pressure and pace. And Ramiz Brahimaj just had literally no answer. No answer whatsoever for the wrestling, for the aggression, for the top. He had a couple guillotine attempts that looked like, ooh, he might have something there, but he didn't. So Ramiz, I don't know what happens to him, man. He lost to, no offense to Court McGee, but at this point, Court McGee is like a measuring stick, right? He's not going to be vying for a title, but he will be a measuring stick to see how good somebody actually is or isn't. So this is a big step back in Ramiz Brahimaj's career, but we'll see what happens, next fight, how they match him up. These guys, these nasty jiu-jitsu guys need to work on their offensive wrestling. If you can't come forward and you can't push the pace and you can't get it to the ground, what are you going to do? How are you supposed to win if off your back you're not submitting anybody and you can't take people down? That drives me nuts. This was an interesting one. Bill Algeo, Joanderson, Brito. Everybody was on Joanderson, Brito, or at least most people. If you watch our breakdown, I liked him to win as well. I did. If you listen to that breakdown, I literally said, I want to pick Bill Algeo here, but I dug into the stats and he has been taken down 20 times in his last 4 fights. 20 times in 4 fights. And I was like, listen, Joanderson's just going to take him down, beat him up from there. I want to pick Bill, but I just can't, not with that stat, not with 20 takedowns in 4 fights. And all of a sudden, the guy's defending takedowns like crazy, getting his own takedowns. He did give up a round. But, Bill Algeo looked good. And Joanderson, Brito, he tried. It's not like Ramiz. Ramiz had no answer. He had nothing to do. Joanderson, Brito came forward, pushed the pace, tried to work takedowns, tried to make it happen. All of a sudden, Bill Algeo's takedown defense was solid. So, good fight. It was a lot of fun to watch. I only had 1 unit on Joanderson, Brito. I had it split between win by decision because I knew there wouldn't be a finish. So I had it win by decision, and I just did a straight money line. So I lost both those bets, but luckily it was only 1 unit split between 2. And good for Bill Algeo. A lot of people were hard on him, me included. I mean, that 20 takedowns in 4 fights is such a miserable statistic. But he seems to be over that and worked on that takedown defense. So that's what you like to see. People make improvements, make adjustments from fight to fight. And then we have a Viacheslav versus Dakota. And this was an awesome fight because the big questions were, what happens if Dakota Bush takes down Borshchev and holds him down and rides him out? We haven't really seen Borshchev tested. We knew he was a nasty kickboxer. We knew he had those kickboxing credentials, but did he actually have an answer to the takedowns? Could he defend them? A. If he got taken down, would he be clueless on the ground? B. And then could he even stand up? C. And he answered all of those questions. Yes, he has some takedown defense. He did defend 1 or 2 takedowns. He also gave 1 up, which was good. I wanted to see that. I wanted to see him on the ground to see if he would be clueless, if he could get back up. He was not clueless, and he did get back up. He dropped Dakota Bush with a body shot and then just finished him from there. And that's that next level, that's that next level kickboxing. What I will say is poor Dakota Bush. He made his UFC debut in a short notice fight against a really tough opponent. Then they immediately match him up against a killer like Borshchev. But I will say this again, he looks good in these losses. First of all, he had Borshchev rocked. I don't know if you guys remember that, but he cracked him and had him rocked. Then he did take him down. He did have a little bit of control. And if it wasn't for that body shot, I don't know what the rest of this fight would have looked like. So listen, Borshchev, real deal, great kickboxing, answered a lot of those grappling questions. And poor Dakota Bush. I'll tell you right now, they're not going to cut him. They'll give him another shot. And when they do, I'm going to pick him. I don't think they're going to give him another killer. They'll probably give him an opponent that he'll have a little better luck against. And I'm going to pick him to win. So I don't know who it is yet. So it's probably little ridiculous to say, but I do like Dakota Bush. I think he has moments of clarity. He does things well, even in these 2 losses to Austin Hubbard and Borshchev. But I think there's an actual talent there, and he's going to string together some wins. He just needs the right opponent to get that going. Katlyn Chookagian versus Jennifer Maia, and if this wasn't the prototypical Katlyn Chookagian fight, I don't know what is. She jabbed her way to a unanimous decision victory. What I will say, that first round, though, she got herself a takedown. She came forward, she shot a takedown, and she controlled Jennifer Maia. And that's what I said in the breakdown, is Katlyn Chookagian is amazing at the basics and has fantastic game plans. We talked about when she fought Antonina Shevchenko. She went out there, knew what a nasty kickboxer Shevchenko was, and she got 3 takedowns. More takedowns than she's ever done in any fight ever. Got 3 takedowns, nullified the striking, and beat her up. And in this fight, I said she may end up initiating the takedowns, and she did. I also thought Jennifer Maia was going to initiate more takedowns. I thought Jennifer Maia was really going to push it. I thought Jennifer Maia was, because she had success in their first fight with the grappling. And I thought she was going to come out here and grapple. I don't know why she wouldn't. You took a round away from Katlyn Chookagian in the first fight. You had some solid success with the grappling. Why wouldn't you just come out here, march forward, and shoot a million takedowns? I don't know why you wouldn't do that. Because Chookagian, although she looked like she had some power last night, she doesn't have power. She's not knocking people out. She'll just touch you up a million times over and then get that unanimous decision. So you beat Katlyn Chookagian, you march forward, you take whatever shots you're going to take, and you take her down. Because you're not going to out-jab her. You're not going to out-footwork her. But you can absolutely get in her face and take her down. Push her up against the cage. You're going to absorb some shots on the way in, but there's not necessarily enough power there that it's going to matter. So that should have been Maia's game plan. That should be the next person's game plan for sure, unless you're Shevchenko and you can beat her any way you want. And Andrade bullied her. So, I was surprised. I had Katlyn Chookagian winning. I had her winning by unanimous decision. I think most people did. But I was surprised that Jennifer Maia didn't come out there and push a grapple-heavy game plan. And I'm surprised, I guess, a little bit that Chookagian did initiate some takedowns to sort of set that tone nice and early. Brandon Royval versus Rogério Bontorin. This is an interesting fight. I knew this would be a decision. I had the bet on Rogério Bontorin to win inside the distance, but a decision would be no action because I thought there was a possibility that Brandon Royval would do something stupid in a scramble and then Bontorin could catch him. And if that doesn't happen, I just get a refund on my bet. So I ended up getting a refund. No loss, no win. I got a refund on the bet because there wasn't a finish. But it was an interesting fight. It was fun. I picked Royval to win, so technically I was correct. But if I'm a judge, I score that for Bontorin. Did you not think Bontorin won that fight? I did. I mean, he dominated a few of those rounds. He had solid control. His grappling was solid. His striking was solid. And he basically bullied Royval. I mean, I was on text trails with people saying, I can't believe I picked Royval. I'm a sucker for Royval. Meaning this is them talking because they're watching the fight. They picked Royval to win, and they're just disappointed that they did that because he looked awful. And it's interesting because Royval's, I don't want to say he's not very good because he's a talented guy, and it's his pace and his desire to win that finds him some success, but he's not strong. He's not like you can beat him up. And I thought Bontorin did beat him up, and he's scrappy. Royval is scrappy, and you'll end up in some weird spots. And if you can control his crazy, he's an easy guy to beat. He honestly is, and that sounds awful saying, but I think Royval is an easy guy to beat. Don't fall into the crazy trap. You march forward, you control the pace, and you can beat him up. I thought Bontorin did that. I would have scored that 2-1 for Bontorin. Fine, Royval won. That was the pick, so works for me in my pick stats. But at the end of the day, I don't think that decision was a good one. Let me know in the comments what you think. I'm curious if I'm in the minority here or most people think that Bontorin won that fight. Then we have the main event of the evening. Listen, I feel like a moron for not having the balls to pick Calvin Kattar. Because if you listen to my breakdown, everything I said was to pick Calvin. I just didn't pull the trigger. I said Calvin Kattar has some of the sharpest boxing in the UFC. He's got incredible speed, footwork, and timing. I said Calvin Kattar is ridiculously tough, and Giga's not going to stop him. This will go to a decision. And then I said Calvin Kattar loses to people who push the pace, who get in his face, who get him to back up. That's why he lost to Max. That's why he lost to Moicano. Those people push the pace. They got in his face. That is not how Giga fights. Giga does not fight that way. Giga waits. Giga uses his kicks as a jab. He's a low volume guy, and he sort of waits. But Giga does have power, and he's dangerous. So all that analysis led to, yeah, obviously Calvin's going to win. You just told me that Calvin only loses to people who push the pace, and Giga's not a pace guy. So obviously Calvin's going to win. Why'd you pick Giga? I don't know why I picked Giga. I don't know. But watching it, I was so happy that Calvin won. I was so happy. I'm from Connecticut. He's from Massachusetts. We're in the same circles as far as the MMA community is concerned. I manage a bunch of his friends because I manage fighters. And I could not be happier for the guy. He has put in his work. He has been around for a very long time. And everybody counted him out. Listen, I had him losing too. I at least gave him the respect he deserved as far as the breakdown was concerned and his skill set and how dangerous he actually is. I just didn't have the sack to actually do it. I did live bet him. I got him at plus 125, which, on one hand wasn't plus 225, but he ballooned up to minus 3,003 was the biggest that I saw his odds, which means you would have to bet $3,003 to win $100. And at that point, when those were the odds, it was pretty much a guarantee, but a fight's a fight. And Giga took his beating like a champ. He took that beating. He absolutely took it. He kept coming forward. He kept trying to make something happen. He kept throwing with intent. He was just a step behind the entire fight, just a full step behind the whole way. So, I'm curious to see how he bounces back, what adjustments he makes. Honestly, if I'm in his corner, the adjustments are you need to push the pace. You need to go forward. Stop waiting. Go forward and use your hands more. The kicks are nice, but use the hands more. The first thing Calvin did in this fight, the first thing he did was catch a kick, take Giga down, and steal the entire first round. The entire first round was meaningless to Giga because Calvin caught a kick, took him down, and rode him out. So Giga's got to work in his hands a little more, walk forward a little more, push a little bit more of a pace, and he'll be back up there. I still think Giga is a ridiculously talented guy that has a future in this division. And same with Calvin. And I think the game plan to beat both of them is out there. You want to beat Calvin? Push the pace. Stay in his face. He's not as good off his back foot as he is off his front foot. And Giga, same thing. Push the pace, stay in his face. Because if you can close the kicking distance, he doesn't have anything to offer with his hands. So both of these guys, what an awesome fight. It's potential fight of the year. In the live chat, we were yucking it up, and somebody was saying that this fight's so early in the year that come fight of the year nominees, people may forget about it. And there's probably some truth to that, but I believe in the sandwich effect. The first things you see and the last things you see, you remember. It's everything in between you're going to forget. So I think this is a memorable fight. It was a ton of fun. I think Calvin should absolutely sit and wait. We'll see what happens with Volkanovski and Korean Zombie. I don't need to see Volkanovski and Max Holloway 3. I don't need to see that. I really don't. So let's get Calvin versus Volkanovski, because that'll be interesting. Volkanovski does push the pace, but Calvin's much larger, and he showed how much he's improved. So that could be a really fun fight, and that's assuming Volk even wins. Korean Zombie could win that fight. So anyway, let's jump into our free DraftKings league and see who won our weekly $50 giveaway. If you don't know, we have a weekly giveaway. We have a free DraftKings league. It costs you nothing to enter, nothing to play. But if you win the league, I send you $50 as a thank you for participating. But you need to be a channel member. You need to be a member of our YouTube channel to qualify for that $50. So Bach the man, I don't know if you're a member or not. If you are, let me know. And I owe you $50. To become a member, for all of you watching, click the join button under this video. It's a couple dollars a month, but it's incredibly supportive. And if you win the DraftKings League one time, it basically pays for an entire year's worth of membership, because I'll send you that $50. Being a member also qualifies you for our full card parlay, where the payouts could be thousands of dollars if it hits, and the parlay is built off of your picks. Let's take a look at your lineup. Bach the man. That sounds so familiar. So I don't know if you've won this league before. I've broken you down before, but that sounds very familiar. Great lineup. Great lineup. You went 5-1, and it's interesting to go 5-1 in a week like this, because you could have easily gone 6-0 with the way the budgets worked out. But you had Giga, Only 56 points in 5 rounds. That's surprising. And he was very expensive at $9,300. Borshchev earned his money with 112 points with that stoppage. Brandon Royval, only 62 points. He was in my lineup as well, and I was honestly pretty disappointed. Only 62 points. And we'll take a look at what Bontorin scored, because that'll be interesting. If we do that math, Bontorin may have scored more in a loss than Royval did in a win. Court McGee, 110. Brian Kelleher, 102. TJ Brown, 112. I also had TJ Brown and Brian Kelleher, and that opened my night. And I was like, ooh, baby, am I in for a good run? But wheels came off a little bit. Let's take a look at Paint. Very similar lineup. Your difference here is, let's see, you had TJ Bryan, Court. You had Collier at 105, and then Royval and Chikadze. Your Collier, no, that's the difference. Collier instead of Borshchev is the difference between first place and second place. And let's see, we need to find somebody who had, come on, Brandon Royval. Yeah. Let's see, Holmes, Kelleher. Did nobody in this league draft Bontorin? I want to see what Bontorin scored. Here we go. Bontorin, 67. Royval, 62. Bontorin scored more in a loss than Royval did in a win. And keep in mind, Royval got 30 points to win a decision. So Brandon Royval scored 32 points to Bontorin's 67 points. Don't tell me Bontorin didn't win that fight. And I have no skin in the game because I didn't bet on it. And pick was concerned. I picked Royval. So technically my pick was right. But I think Bontorin won that fight. Anyway, guys, join our free DraftKings league. wewantpicks.com/DraftKings. Costs you nothing. We're not going to charge anybody. And if you want to create contests in there for some money, do that. You guys are welcome to do that. Join the league. Become a member of this channel. Qualify yourself for $50. And we will see you for UFC 270 and all the things. Comment down below. I'd love to know your thoughts. I'd love to know what you thought of last night's fights.